Hey, good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you. It's another day, another opportunity, and thank you for joining us. Kind of a little special thing that we're doing. For those of you that are new and will see this later, welcome. And those of you that have followed us along the way, Conversations with Jeff Cows is really about kind of bringing everyone together just for a moment in time and kind of hitting the reset button. So today's message, again, over the next 30 days, as we mentioned in our last session last Tuesday, we had a powerful guest on here, and my friend Terri Liggins was willing to kind of set aside 30 days, take some time over the next 30 days. She'll kill me if it's 30 days. What do you mean? Anyway, and just share, a nugget in and around her journey around health and why it's important and how it can help you. And listen, this is a no judgment zone, right? So if you're like, man, I don't want to hear it, listen anyway. All right? Because I know myself is sometimes those things that I don't want to hear are the very things I need to listen to. As an example, when I was a little boy, my parents, mom and dad, tell me to do something. I needed to listen to. I didn't do it, got in trouble. So take that for whatever it's worth. And we're going to get right to it today because we're only going to be here just for a short period of time. All right. Hey, we got some folks saying hi. Leona, hello to you too. Thanks for showing up. And boy, drop in the comments as you go along today where you're from and any love that you can show Terri and any questions that you might have. And we'll try and get to them. But I don't know if you know Terri and I, we can get off into a tangent and we're trying not to do that. Instead of saying hi and that stuff. So anyhow, let me just stop talking and get ready. Get your pen and pad, get your phone, take some notes, share this, subscribe to this. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring back to Conversations with Jeff, my friend from Las Vegas, Terri Liggins. Let's see how we can get this thing going on here. Hey, Terri.
Hello, Jeff. Hello there. How are you? Thanks for having me back.
Yeah. Glad to have you back, and really looking forward to the next 3-4 episodes we do over the next 30 days. And listen closely, ladies and gentlemen, because there's going to be some opportunities that Terry's going to mention to you for some things coming up in August that you're going to want to be dialed into, right? And from that, there are going to be some things leading up to those opportunities. So what's going on with you? How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic today. Thanks for having me here to share some tips. And so I think, over the next several weeks, I'll share one tip. Is probably about all we have time for. And it all begins, and thank you for mentioning about that coming up in August. Save that date, okay? August 20th, 2022. Save that date. And what I wanted to talk about today kind of ties into, not kind of, very much ties into August 20th. So how did I go from eating a standard American diet? I had already given up meat, red meat and such, and white sugar, white flour, and white milk. Ooh, never did like that anyway. And white rice. I had already given those things up, but man, was I still eating junk food. I loved me some. You know what? It's been so long, I don't even remember. It's been.
I can give you some Pringles, Snicker bars, you name it.
Snickers was my favorite, but I have found a very good, healthy substitute for Snickers. But yes, Snickers bars. Yes, I would have one every afternoon at work, and that's something for a pick me up. Ooh, Pringles, love them, love them. Just any kind of potato chips, yeah. And I was, still eating pizza and the pepperoni on the pizza and the cheese and all that. Still doing that. How did I do that? How did I go from eating that one day to eating 100% raw the next day? And I never looked back. Now, let me put a disclaimer in here. Do you ever hear an actor speak about their journey and how they became, and it's usually not them saying that they became an overnight success. It's usually the interviewer, right? They're saying overnight success, but that overnight success took 10 years, took 15 years. It took them being homeless, living on someone's sofa, giving up everything, moving across country to pursue their dream. Then they became that overnight success that the public sees.
Right.
So my journey was pretty much the same. Overnight, I went from eating this way to eating that way, and in just 7 days got rid of a autoimmune disease that I've been dealing with for 12 years. But I can tell you, for those 12 years, I was doing stuff. I was seeking, I went to law school for health law when I learned that there was such a program. I love learning. I'm a geek that way. I love researching. And so that just fit right in. I always wanted to go to law school, and now I can go and apply it to health and wellness. So public health is what my degree is in, and in law. And so all throughout that time, I was leading up to this overnight going cold turkey. I like to call it cold broccoli. I don't
Nice.
So what anyone else can do this too. But nowadays I tell people, don't go raw. Don't do what I did unless you have it up here first. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today. You have to have a why. They say that your strong why will help you through anyhow, something like that.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah.
But I should have looked that phrase up before the program here. But the why is everything. And I'm going to give you 3 things that your why will do. There's a whole lot of things it'll do, but let's just narrow down to 3 to make it easy. Your why will drive you to focus. If you're not focusing, things can just, too many things can come into your way. And as they say, if you don't have an agenda, you end up on everybody else's agenda.
That's right.
And so that why will focus you. Okay, that why will push you past the rough spots. And boy, have I had some rough spots just recently. And that why is what keeps you going past it. You have to keep going until you win. The only way you can lose is to drop out of the game.
That's it.
Right? Because you fail and fail and fail and fail and then win. And as long as you keep pushing against that brick wall and then get over it, then you're good. So the why will help you do that. The why will keep you inspired to the end. Now, when I'm writing books for individuals, when I'm coaching them, my clients, I tell them, number one, before I even will start writing or working with you to write your book or to coach you to write your book, is you must show me that you've written down a why statement. Because I've seen it too many times over the past 22 years, life gets in the way. And guess what's the first thing to go is their book, their dream of writing that book. It gets put on the shelf because they run out of money, they run out of time. Some tragedy happened in their household, their family, and they have to now attend to that. They never, and I can call them 2-3 years later. How's that book coming? Ooh, they haven't gotten back to it, right? Those are the people that never had a why to begin with. So when I went through this journey, I had a why. But here's the part that a lot of times people don't tell you when doing your why statement, is that there's really 2 parts to it, to your goal. Okay, your goal, and in my case, what I thought was the real part of the why, my goal was to get rid of sarcoidosis. It was the autoimmune disease that had me just crippled at times, literally. And I wanted to get rid of it so I never have to go to a hospital again. But if I just kept that as the whole premise, then it wouldn't do anything, because guess what? The why is the emotion, all those things that I mentioned, keeping focused, pushing past the rough spots, and staying inspired. Those are emotions. And the E in emotions is energy. That's all emotions is. It's the energy to keep moving. Right? So if I'm, for instance, if I'm wanting to lose weight and my goal is, 125 pounds, and I see that 125 pounds on the scale, that number is not the real emotion behind it all. The number is the what. It's a number, right? But the why, the emotion, is the excitement that I get when I see that number. Wow, yes, I did it. And so you have to keep the excitement behind it all. And so the sarcoidosis. So I wanted to get rid of sarcoidosis, but that was the what. So the why, okay, the why. And this why happened March of 2011. And it's actually, no coincidence that we're talking about this today. And tomorrow is the birthday of my best friend. We've been best friends since 8th grade. And when I was in the hospital with sarcoidosis, pardon me, I was in the hospital, one of the many times I was in the hospital. This time I was in ICU in Chicago. My best friend of 38 years at that time was in a hospital, Baylor Hospital in Dallas, Texas. And she was calling me, leaving me a message saying that she's going into surgery and she's very scared, didn't know what to do. I was her medical power of attorney. I never got that message until 3 days later when I was home. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to get to Dallas. And before I can really pack and get, squared away and go, I got a phone call from her 19-year-old son that says she's gone. She's gone. And all he kept saying is she's gone. And it still gets to me today because I made a mandate that day. The what was important to me, the not being able to not be in a hospital was important, because the why was so I can be there for somebody. I should have been there for her. Yeah. I should have, not just that day, that surgery day, but I think what haunts me is that throughout the illness, illness comes to keep you isolated, to keep you bound, and to keep you from helping and being with people. And months prior to that surgery, she was crying out for help, and I couldn't be there for her. I was on the phone for her. I was the you can do this, get strong person, but oh man, I should have been the I'm right here giving you a hug person. I'm right here listening to whatever you want to say person. And so your why has to be so strong that it will change your life. And at that point, when she died, I said, God, you've got to help me get rid of this, because I don't want to ever be not able to help anyone else, my children. She was my family. She did not have parents alive at our young age, even, and so she was my family, and that hit hard. That hit very hard, and that was my why. So get a why, and then one last thing about that. When you write down your why, you have to write it. Don't type it, don't talk it, write it. And train in my journaling class, because something magical happens when you transfer the information from your brain to your paper by writing it. Your writing is it engages your left brain, right? The left brain is the analytical side. And it's the side that deals with language and logic and all that. And as you're writing, it frees up the right brain. Oops, I'm pointing to right. Frees up the right brain. I'm like looking on camera. It frees up the creative side that can just be so imaginative that your goals are bigger than you. Your goal and your why should make you cry.
Yeah, that's it. I just heard that this morning. Yeah, and before, if I may, just send a virtual hug around you for what you've just shared.
And it's her birthday tomorrow. It's her birthday.
Yeah. So we'll be with you in spirit, and she's with you now. She's with us now. She's smiling. Her energy is coming through you. So I did interrupt you, but I want to say that because
thank you.
and so continue on. The why is kind of, I'll tell you when you're finished why. I'm just like, wow, this is really crazy.
That's pretty much it. I really implore everyone to write down your goal for getting healthy. Write down your why and know that there's a what and a why. And your why is the emotion. So you can write down the why, but unless you say why that is important and why it will change your life, then it's just another little thing that you've written down.
Yeah, and I like to think of it more too, Terry. Thank you for saying that. It's the mentally. I mean, you ask somebody what their why is, and they can tell you, "Oh, I want to have a legacy for my children, or I want to have my own business. I want to make a lot of money." But when you start talking, and I wrote it down too, it's what you thought was your real why.
Mm-hmm.
Found out what was your real why.
All this time, I thought, yeah. It wasn't until recently that I really learned the two part.
Yeah, the emotional piece of it
Yeah.
and I talked yesterday, or when we promoted this about, I had 3 weeks with our grandkids, and
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and they're running around, and I'm still thinking I'm 21 years old, right? And I'm grateful to be able to do that. And it was more about, man, I just want to get up one more day and be able to communicate, sit, talk, walk, and run, and I'll do whatever I have to, to be able to have that kind of freedom and opportunity. So I really appreciate that. And it's funny, you mentioned, I didn't know you were going to talk about the why, but, part of my spirit work today was around the why and the emotion in it, right? We talked about that and let's talk about food for a second. I know we're already in the 15 minutes, so
I know. We can't help it. We can't help it.
Hello from London, Nina, and I'm just gonna look at the chat. Hugs from Steph. Got to go deeper to sustain you through. Yeah, that's right, Sky. So I appreciate everybody in here participating and sending some love and hugs to our friend Terry. So, but I wanted to talk about food for a moment and what was it? I mean, I heard you in your story. There was 7 days to that you had gone through 12 years of preparation. For such a time as that. What about that person that says, "Oh man, I've tried everything. And I have my why," which we know they don't when they say that. Right? It just doesn't work for me. What do you say to that person?
What I say is go back and figure out that why. They did not have a strong enough why. When I went raw, when I went 100% raw, it was because all I could see was that I let Virginia down, that she died on my watch, and it didn't have to happen. And there's been so many other people since then. Oh my gosh, in my book, and I didn't think to do this, but and for me here for a minute, in the front of this book, I have in memory of Perry, my cousin. She was my same age. She died at 51. Cancer. Virginia, who I mentioned, she died. She was age 51. We were both same age, 51. Juana, she was only 56, and she was very, very, very close to our family. She died. Charmaine, she was 60 when she died, and Larry and I went to college together. He was 56. All of these people were just early 50s. They were near me, dear to me, and died of cancer. Cancer is preventable. If you just added a salad to your meal, if you don't know what else to do, add a salad. Yeah. Don't pick that crazy, nasty, dangerous salad dressing that you buy in the store. Don't put that on there. Okay. Last week we talked about, I gave that real quick tip to just make your own salad dressing: olive oil, balsamic oil, Dijon mustard, organic mustard, honey. Add that, stir it up, pour it over your salad. Just do something different than what the American Standard Diet shows you. What they're killing you. They're killing you with the sugar, with the additives, with the chemicals, everything, and you are head of your temple. You have to put clean stuff in it and start. If you were to, I think the statistics say, if you just did a salad 3 times a week, you're adding 6 years to your life.
Wow.
Leafy greens. The leafy greens, don't cook the life out of those greens. Eat them raw. Okay, it won't kill you. And there's so many things. Oh my gosh. People ask me for recipes all the time. I really don't measure things, so it's hard for me to even write down recipes. I get my recipes online. folks, get them online. I get them initially and still and mainly from Chef Keaty's book, livingsuperfood.com. Livingsuperfood, no S.com. He's got like, I think he's on his 4th recipe book now. His daughter has a beautiful recipe book. And if I can do this, you can do this. Okay. Yeah. I can do this. I always say that if I can do this, you can do this, but you have to start somewhere. And if it's to add a smoothie's not really the best because there's sugar in the fruit. If you're fighting anything, stay away from the smoothies right away. Okay. Do juicing though, green juicing. Recipes for green juices all over the internet.
Yeah.
It's that.
Yeah. So let me thank you for that, because we just came really to talk about 1 or 2 things, but you've given the audience a couple of things, and one of them is the why. We're going to do a recap because getting that to the why. Everybody, and let's do an exercise one time, Terry, on the why. A tool that I found that really helps. It's called 7 Levels Deep, where it gets to that really why, where it's the why that makes you cry. Right, and not the one that says I'll do it next time. I mean, talking about adding a salad, as simple as adding a salad. Yeah, not the dressing. And then livingsuperfood.com is another reading tool.
Yep.
So these are the things that when you show up here, I know we just threw this out from last week, so we appreciate everybody that took the time to join us today. And please drop in the comments if something that you'd like to hear about. As we move forward over the next 30 days and lock it in your calendar. It's going to be on a Tuesday, if we can, the same time. I think next week we may have a conflict, Terry, we haven't worked that out, but we'll be sure and get you the notes as soon as possible. And make sure you're sharing this and subscribing and passing this on to your friends. This is just the beginning of something that we are committed to show up in. Here's the genius of our friend Terri Liggins and the simplicity that anybody can do. So, Terry, any last things that you want to share? Let's take a couple of minutes to kind of wrap it up.
Yes, another thing that just came across my mind, what I was beginning to say about when I did go raw was, it was in the fall of that year. And another reason that why was so important, because what was coming up after that was major holidays and Thanksgiving and Christmas. And guess what? As a new convert to this new way of eating, I did not eat a traditional Thanksgiving dinner. I did not eat a traditional Christmas dinner. I let my intellect overpower my emotion. And when you get to the bottom of this, and this perhaps we'll talk about it in more detail next time, that food is just emotion. You are relating it to dinners at Big Mama's house. You're relating it to, those wonderful Christmas events, with family. That's all that is. It's a trick to get you to this. You're going to feel horrible later once you know the truth. The truth will set you free. And then you cannot go back to that mess. You cannot. Anyone who's still eating that mess, that's okay. That's you. I'm not here to condemn you. But once you've made that decision to get out of that rat race of bad eating and dangerous eating, your body will tell you right away when you've eaten that stuff again and you knew you shouldn't.
Now, why you want to mess me up? Because I got lunch planned today and it's not raw.
Well, you're okay until you've made that true commitment. And then you'll feel okay. You won't feel deprived. That's the beauty of it. When I can look at that Thanksgiving dinner and I can remember everything lovely about it and all the great taste, but I won't touch 90% of what's on that table and I will be okay. I will not feel deprived.
Yeah, not good. And you miss that wonderful itis that we get after we eat.
Yeah, I'll be like ready to run a race.
You'll be bouncing around, everybody else be sitting on the couch sleep, taking that.
Unbuckling their pants.
No, I appreciate that. And I want to add this too, sometimes we eat what's eating us.
Yes.
And so we need to really maybe look at that, the emotional part of eating, where that serves us. Yeah. And hinders us too. So, boy, again, man.
We went over again. Sorry.
That's all right. Stay tuned for more of this, and drop in the comments, please. Those of you that are here with us, if this served you, and if so, what it was about, and any thoughts that you might have. And thank you for making this a dialogue and not a monologue. By participating in the chat, that gives us the chance to connect. So, and you know, we are a space where no judgment zone, right? You are who you are, you stay who you are, and we just
love you anyway. I love you anyway.
Love you anyway. Thank you. I was just going to say that. So I don't know that we've got anything, Terry. I know we announced the stuff coming up in August, and I'm going to do the same. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for showing up. Be here next Tuesday. Do not miss out, and be on the lookout for some snippets along the way in between the sessions. So, thank you, Terry, for joining us, and all of you other folks that took some time out. Don't go out and get a cheeseburger. Get a salad. Get a dressing on it.
That's right. At least get it without the bun.
Yeah, get it without the bun. There you go. That's the start.
Baby steps.
It's little steps.
Yeah.
Do that. So.
Leave that bun alone.
Let's see. I took away what I had to go deeper, stay committed to my word. I love it. I love that. I love that. Love that. Thank you all, guys, Dev, Lona. If I'm saying your name wrong, I really apologize. You know, I'm gonna work it out.
Ilona.
Beautiful name, Ilona. Thank you.
Beautiful person. And Nina and Sky and Philip and everyone else who's watching. Thank you.
Keep showing up. You know, share this message. Bring your family members, and let us know if we can serve you in any other way. All right. All right. Hey, Terry. We'll see you soon. All right.
Okay. All right. Bye-bye.
All right. And thanks again for everybody that showed up today. And next week, put it on your calendar and look for some things that we're going to be sharing throughout the month of July and August. And the opportunity that Terry mentioned, I believe on the 20th, boy, you just lock it in. You know, we haven't got all the details figured out yet. That's why we haven't announced it. But you want to make sure that you pay attention to that. And lastly, let's send a hug to our friend Terry when she shared vulnerably how she was impacted by losing a friend and not being able to be there. That could happen to us, right? That can happen just like that. There is nothing promised in this world but to come and go at some point. So we love you, Terry, and all the folks that are showing up. You guys have a great rest of the day. And remember, what is your why? Write it down, read it, and then pay attention to something we're going to do. It's called 7 Levels Deep Exercise. We love you. We'll let you know ahead of time when that's going to be, and we'll go through it so you know what it is. Hey, Mama Liggins, I'm sorry we just wrapped up, but we'll get you the recording, and appreciate you showing up as well. So I'm going to go. But everybody, we appreciate you being here today. And remember, salad, your why, and take little steps. And we'll see you soon. Appreciate you. Bye-bye.